With the new health care law, many people are wondering if it will have any impact on long-term care. Dave Beck is a partner at Egenberger Weiner LLC and is here to tell us about long-term care insurance and what exactly it covers. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Sonia.
So tell us, what do we get with long-term care coverage?
Well, long-term care coverage, people originally thought it was, just about the nursing home, but now long-term care has evolved and it's about home health care, assisted living, continuum of care. And any plan that we do has to integrate home health care because people want to be seen, at home. Nobody really wants to go to the nursing home, at least that I know of.
So is this something that everybody needs to be considering and thinking about, or?
I think everybody needs to consider long-term care and have a plan for long-term care. Not everyone needs long-term care, but whatever your plan is, make sure you communicate it to the person you want to carry out that plan in the event you're unable to. And so in addition to long-term care insurance, you should be talking about medical directives and wills and things of that nature.
All the uncomfortable stuff, but get it out early.
The things that people don't want to talk about, because I didn't have the conversation with my own parents. I'm just as guilty. And last year I had an event that I didn't know how to handle, and I just got lucky. Or actually, Dad got lucky.
Well, tell us what the law it really is and how it affects long-term care.
Well, the new health care law that was just introduced, really, it had what was called the Class Act in it, but it was repealed before it ever got into existence, which was supposed to be next year as part of the fiscal cliff negotiations, and it was deemed to be unsustainable, and they got rid of it. So there's really no impact whatsoever on long-term care.
So we don't really have to take that into account, are you saying, or should we stay abreast of changes?
You want to stay. Could come back in some form. There was a lot of debate on whether there was no pricing models, there was no break points. They had no idea how they were going to even implement it. So right now, that's kind of on the very back burner of this, as the healthcare reform itself is somewhat controversial.
Okay, so tell us about a partnership policy. What is it, and why should it be important to all of us?
A partnership policy basically is the state's way of trying to give you an incentive to buy long-term care. If you buy a long-term care insurance policy and it meets the mandates of a partnership policy, then they will add money onto the eligibility levels for Medicaid, so you could become eligible for Medicaid sooner by purchasing a long-term care policy if you have a long-term care event.
And now premiums change all the time, so that's a concern. What do we need to be paying attention to, and how we can plan for those events?
Well, if you look at the internet and you Google premium increases, you're going to see, large rate increases from a variety of companies, 100%, 42%, so on and so forth. And a lot of that was based on, poor assumptions, or not poor assumptions, but erroneous assumptions. They thought that people were going to behave with long-term care insurance as they did with life insurance, where they would cancel their policies early, and that's a profit to the insurance company. Well, they found out that that wasn't the case. So now they have more policies still in force, so they have higher than expected claims. And then on top of that, we have a low interest rate environment, so you have the perfect storm for these huge rate increases, where now the insurance companies have taken all that into account, repriced their portfolios, and are now entering into more stringent underwriting, where women are going to be charged more for their long-term care because women utilize long-term care services at a higher rate than do men. And hopefully we've seen the last of these huge increases, but they're working on it. We'll see. Now,
you were saying earlier that you actually had to deal with this with your own family member, and that you hadn't had those uncomfortable conversations. If we, as just a common person, come to somebody like Egenberger Weiner, what sort of expertise do we get with coming to an expert?
Well, what we're doing is we're going to direct you and look over the things that need to be addressed by you. Tell you, go see your attorney, get a medical directive. Do you need long-term care insurance? Where are you going to be? Because various places have various costs associated, and some you may be overinsured, underinsured, or need to do a different plan entirely.
So some fresh eyes looking at our situation and telling us what we should be planning for.
Exactly.
Now, what's a good time for me to start thinking about this? Like, it doesn't matter if you're in charge of somebody else's well-being maybe at some point?
Well, I mean, we always told people that you need to start examining this in your 40s and 50s.
Okay.
And then deal with it from there. But certainly in case of elderly parents, sooner is better than later.
Okay. Thank you so much. Dave Beck, partner at Egenberger Weiner LLC. You always make it so easy for us.
All right, thank you, Sonia.
More Let's Talk Live is coming up. Stick with us right here.